Blood Bowl isn't just a game. It's a raw, emotional experience, where the difference between victory and defeat can come down to the roll of a single plastic cube. You invest in your players. You invest in your team. You collect miniatures, delicately paint them, getting them ready for the next humiliating, crushing loss that comes at the hands of the cruel and fickle Mistress Nuffle. Can Fantasy Flight recreate this in a card game? To film this review, I needed a good background, something that would show off my credit. The Blood Bowl pitch looks good, but you know, everyone's got a Blood Bowl pitch. You want to have a custom Blood Bowl pitch, like for the New Bedlam Maulers. But even then, is that pimp enough? Everyone's got a custom one. How about Blood Bowl 7's pitch, set in the frozen north of Canada? Hockey masks and beavers, and still, it's just not boss enough. So let's go with my custom Dungeon Bowl pitch.
I know what you're thinking. It's huge, isn't it? But size isn't everything. It's also 4-player. Speaking of 4-player, Blood Bowl Team Manager, the card game, is a 2 to 4 player game designed by Jay Little and released by Fantasy Flight Games. It tries to recreate the fun and excitement of running a Blood Bowl league as opposed to playing in a Blood Bowl game. But can they actually pull it off? Can they bridge that gap with cards instead of minis? Let's get on the table and find out.
All right, enough showing off. Now it's really hard to talk about what Team Manager is without also talking about what it isn't. I mean, it's a licensed product, so without juxtaposition against the license itself, I mean, what have you got?
What Blood Bowl does really well is it makes you feel like the coach of a team. You're standing at the sidelines, yelling at the players, come on, go, trying to get those touchdowns to win the match. But this game's much different. It makes you feel more like an owner, where you still get the cool stuff like running an orc team, but you're not playing for the match, you're actually playing for the fame of the fans, and you sort of get the idea that winning and losing is not really important. The way that plays out is that you deal out a number of these highlights from the matches, like the mousetrap or the trip line or the fleet-footed flea flicker. Now, these are the great things that the reporters are shouting back at the fans. It's almost like the sports night, the sports center replays. What you do is you get a couple of cards off the top of your deck, and then clockwise around the table, you commit your players to these different matchups, and eventually you end up at a spot where everybody's done a little bit of something. And the player that has the most star player value, which is indicated at the top of the card, they're the ones that are going to win this match.
Players choose one of these 6 familiar Blood Bowl races. I mean, you've got humans and dwarves and wood elves, and they form the Old World Alliance. You've got the Chaos Waste Confederation, made of orcs and Chaos Warriors and Skaven. Now, each of these decks are structurally similar, but they're thematically different. So they all share linemen, for instance. But, the Chaos Warriors, they're really good at cheating, when the Black Orcs are really good at fighting, while the dwarves are really tough and the humans are well balanced. To further drive that thematic difference home, you can buy these upgrades. They're team-specific upgrade cards throughout the game. It makes the orcs more fighty and the dwarves more tough, and the chaos guys, they're even better at cheating, while the humans get more, human. And this is really cool because it goes a long way to capture that feeling that Blood Bowl players could come to recognize. Where they lose it, though, is when you get star players. I mean, you can get sort of these freebooter star players, and they're, linemen and throwers and runners and blitzers, and what you do when you get these is you throw away one of your existing cards from your 12 and replace it with one of these, so, your blitzer might be better as a freebooter. You get a lot of familiar names like Morgan Thorg and Grim Ironjaw and Jordell Freshbreeze and Griff Oberwald. But because all the teams from this select from the one pack, your dwarf team might get Deeproot Strongbranch, or your wood elves might get Mighty Zug. And they went so far to try to capture those thematic elements, and then they sort of lost it again with these sort of mixing of the star players. Now, the way the actual players work in Team Manager is that they've all got this star value, and whoever's got the highest star value in one of these matchups, they're going to be declared the winner. And they've all got these optional special abilities. For instance, this guy's got the ability to move the ball. So if I place him at a matchup, I can move the ball 1 square. Or if I place him at another matchup, I can move the ball out of that guy's hands. Next up, you've got guys that have got more than one ability. For instance, this guy, he can move the ball and he can sprint. So place him at a matchup, he moves the ball 1 square, and what sprinting does, it allows me to draw an extra card out of my deck into my hand and then discard a card. So that makes my hand much more efficient and makes my deck much more lean. Next up, you got guys that punch people in the face, because it's Blood Bowl, right? So you commit this guy to a matchup, and then you compare the star value to that of your opponent. If you're stronger, you roll 2 dice. If you're weaker, you roll 2 dice, but your opponent gets to pick the result. And if you're the same, you just roll 1. Now these here are probably the biggest letdown in Team Manager. If these were actual Blood Bowl dice instead of these custom jobs, it would really go a long way to nail the theme. Now you see this guy's actually missed his block, so he's going to get knocked down, and he's going to have to suffer this lower team value that's here in his knockdown side. Last off, you got guys that have got this little skull icon. And what skulls do is allow you to cheat. Now, cheating is the only one of these that is not optional. It's probably the best flavor text in the game is that cheating is mandatory. You get a number of different things for winning these highlight reels. First and foremost is fans. Now the player with the most fans at the end of the game wins, so it's probably the most important. The second thing is the star players, like I said. Now, the more star players you squeeze into your deck, the more special abilities you get at your beck and call. The trade-off is the taller your deck gets, the less reliably you can get those special abilities out, so you got to play a bit of a balancing act. The third thing, like I said, are these team upgrades, and the fourth are these assistant coaches. Now, you can get some really cool stuff in here, like offensive coordinators and endorsement deals and talent scouts and bloodthirsty supporters, and they all help your team play a different kind of game in different ways. So what we're left with here is a bit of an area control game and a bit of a deck builder. And the real question is it a Blood Bowl game? Does it capture that Blood Bowl experience? And the answer is yes, but it's also no. I mean, this is not the Blood Bowl game in card form. This is another thing. This is a separate beast. It's a team management game that sits at a higher level than a team coaching game, and it's set in the Blood Bowl universe. And really, that's its flaw, is that all of these thematic elements, they really sell Blood Bowl to you. And if you're a fan of Blood Bowl, that's going to be what draws you in. That's going to be what gets us to the table. If you're not a fan of Blood Bowl, however, I just don't know if there's enough here to warrant continually getting it out, to warrant an investment on your own side. I mean, the deck building element is cool, but you never really get a good chance to build that deck as best as you can. I mean, the game only takes 5 rounds, and by the time you get to the end of the 5th round, you sort of find yourself wanting maybe a little bit more. It is a fun game. It is fun to get the to and fro happening and to battle it out. But 2-player I don't think is as good as 4-player. I mean, the more players you have, the more contesting there is over these different events, and the more fun that sort of gets. You get to battle it out for the major trophies, but you never really feel like you've won one. You just feel like you've sort of got the most fans out of it. It definitely does not, as a Blood Bowl fan, replicate the experience of Blood Bowl for me. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please give us a thumbs up, maybe leave some comments down below and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. If you'd like to interact with us a little bit more, you can find me at Smashing Plastic, or you can find Richard at Axe Kicker Kelly. I'll see you on the 1st and 15th every month, and adios.